welcome to the Moms on Maternity YouTube show and podcast. I'm Aimee Cruz, the founder of Mom, and today we have on Lauren Fernandez. She is the author of Talk Back Barbie, the Secret Service edition and a mom. How are you, Lauren?
I'm good. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're so excited to talk to you. Do you have your book in front of you?
Oh, I do.
Let me see it.
So this is Talk Back Barbie, the Secret Service.
Okay, so tell us about the title.
I have it all marked.
How did you come up with Talk Back Barbie?
So it's so funny because everyone thinks that the title is, I just came up with this great title, but in reality, it was just my nickname in the Secret Service. That is literally what they called me in the Secret Service. So when I was going through training, there was a big incident, and that's in the book. It's about in the middle of the book. And it talks about how I got the nickname Talk Back Barbie. And I basically questioned authority. It was a military environment. And so a lot of people, it's all yes, sir, no, sir. And I was not good at that. I could not just answer questions with a yes or a no. I questioned things if I didn't feel like they were right. And so the technician who I questioned, who did not like me, he had it out for me from the day I began.
I mean, is that kind of like sexual harassment? I mean, I know I shouldn't even use those words, but like they literally called you that at work, like all the time, like many people.
So yes, I think so. When I talk to women about the book and why I feel like it's so powerful for women is because there is a lot of discrimination in the book. This technician had it out for me from the beginning when I walked into training. He saw me in my pink Bermuda.
A man.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a male dominated. I mean, I had one other female in my training session with me, and then there were very few other women in any of the federal training programs that we went through. So
wow. I want to read this book now. I mean, wow. Yeah. I mean, just first of all, I've always admired anyone in the service, but especially women. I can imagine there's a lot of unique circumstances you find yourself in as a nice looking smart woman in a male dominated role. I mean, so tell me more. I mean, I don't want you to give your whole book away, but so basically the name came because someone that had it out for you, gave you this nickname that kind of caught on. Like, did other people start calling you that? Talk Back Barbie?
Yeah. So my classmates who were like a mile up the road at another scenario that they were playing out heard him screaming at me. And after that, they literally called me Talk Back Barbie because they could not believe I questioned him. And I asked this question and I was standing up for myself and they just could not believe it.
Do you still work there?
It was my team. No, I don't. No, it was my team and my class who called me Talk Back Barbie. The technician he never acknowledged me as Talk Back Barbie. He just acknowledged me as a problem.
Does he know about the book?
No, and I tried to reach out to some people at the Secret Service who know him personally, and they said that he is either retired or left, so he's not there anymore, because I was actually going to mail him a free copy of the book because it's mostly about him and the challenges he put me through.
So do you hold like resentment toward him, or now have you come to this like, wow, he actually helped me, or like?
No resentment at all. Actually, if you do read the book, you'll find out that his attitude towards me actually empowered me. So I'm the type of person that the minute you tell me I can't do something, the minute you start cutting me down, the minute you start discriminating against me, I am going to prove you wrong. Like, I am not going to let that define me. And so that is exactly what he did for me. So instead of him thinking that he's going to discourage me and he's going to make me just go cry in my bedroom and just go and just pout and quit, he actually empowered me and made me stronger. And so that's why I just feel like the book is just so great for other women and just people in general, even men. It just shows them like maybe how to handle women in a male dominated environment, but also encourages women how we can move on and how we can get through things regardless of discrimination, how we can just be strong and just empowered within ourselves. And
like, were you called like Bossy as a child? Isn't that what they called us, right?
Of course. I was bossy. I was adamant. My dad said I was extremely stubborn.
Yeah.
I never gave in.
Strong-willed.
That was me. Super strong-willed.
Yeah.
I mean, and I look at things now and I see that it actually has made it so easy for me now when I'm an adult to how I can handle things so much better. So I just going through all this, and that's why I wrote the book, is because I feel like I was at the age where I started to realize that I could actually encourage other women who are going through the same things I went through with my experiences. But I also wanted people to be able to laugh with me.
Well,
that was the biggest thing, because people, when they read the book,
I'm definitely I'm gonna read this, because now I want to know what this incident was that like you questioned, and like I want to know everything. But I guess I'm just gonna have to get the book because I have so many more questions to ask you. So, how old are your kids?
Yeah. So I have one son. He is 8 years old, and he's in second grade.
Yeah. And was the Secret Service your first job out of college?
Mm-hmm. So I applied for the Secret Service 9 months before I graduated college because the application process takes so long. And I knew that's what I wanted to go do because it was a gateway into the FBI. So I wanted to ultimately be an FBI agent and work for the Violent Crimes Unit was my goal, my dream since I was 10 years old.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yes. And I was too young and I was too inexperienced, so I could not work for the FBI. So I had to look into companies, federal law enforcement companies that hired people right out of college. The Secret Service and the NSA, the National Security Agency, were the two companies that hire people straight out of college. And so I applied to both of those companies.
Okay, and so how many women apply to the Secret Service? Is it just really low? Is that why they're so like? Well, I mean, I would imagine just equal numbers applying. Like, what am I missing?
Way more men apply. It's very few women apply. I don't know the numbers. I have no idea about the numbers.
What do you think the reason
I do know that.
What reason is that?
I think it's the application process is intimidating. You have like a stack of papers this thick that you have to fill out through, and I'm talking your whole entire life, everywhere you've lived, neighbors, just everything, everywhere you've traveled. If it's been outside the country, it is a big application process. Then you have to go through testing, and then you have to go through a polygraph and situational awareness testing as well. So you have to make it through all this first. So yes, there are women going through this, but if you fail any of this, you are rejected. But I just think that it's because of the training. So we had to go through 6 months of intensive federal law enforcement training, and we had to graduate both FLETC, which is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia, and JJRTC, which is the James J. Raleigh Training Center up in Maryland. We had to graduate from both of those before we were actually a Secret Service officer. So, and doing that, I think it eliminates a lot of people. It's a lot of physical like restrictions. I mean, push-ups, pull-ups, running, shooting. There's just so much.
Oh wow! Like you have to be able to do like super like fitness types of things to qualify.
Yes. That's correct.
Yeah, that would definitely disqualify people.
Yeah. So like, you have to get somebody.
Like I'm impressed, like that you knew that you would pass everything. I guess. So yeah, that's why you have the like. Okay, so a Secret Service is one of the theaters, another FBI. What'd you say the other one called?
NSA, the National Security Agency. So that's who I applied. I was going through the same application process with NSA and Secret Service at the same time.
And the incident you talk about in your book was during training or while you were officially in the Secret Service?
So during training was the incident when I got the nickname Back Barbie. But it's really funny because there is a history of me being called a Barbie name. And it was when I was interning with the Gwinnett County Police Department, and they are here in Georgia, and they're over in the Lawrenceville area, well, the Gwinnett area. And when I was interning there, I did an internship with them, and I did an internship with Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office when I was in college. And when I walked in, they started nicknaming me Malibu Barbie,
You know, remind me of
Funeral
right
Barbie.
now. You remind me of Aaron Brockovich. Aaron Brockovich. I don't know why. I just got like some weird, like, I don't know, Julia Roberts, like, or whoever, is that who played her? I don't even know. Okay, wow. So,
I love
okay,
it.
so
Yeah,
how
I
many,
think it was.
wait, so how many, did you stay there through having your baby?
No. So I worked only for the Secret Service for a year and a half. And the reason being is because I discovered that the lifestyle, I was newly married. I got married when I was working at the White House in the Secret Service. And I just discovered the shift work. I was tired. I was never with my family for holidays. It was really difficult. And it wasn't easy to be able to maintain especially a new marriage. It was very hard. And
wow, what a story. So, okay,
different.
so you were there for a year and a half, and how many years after you left did you start writing the book?
I just wrote it a year and a half, well, a little over a year ago.
How many years were you out before you started writing?
So I got out in 2006. So what is that? If we can do the math, 2006, that's 4 years, 10. Yeah, so you're looking at, what is that? 15 years?
No, wait, you're kidding, right?
15 years.
It's been 15 years since you experienced this whole thing and you wrote the book. Wow, I love that. And you can like remember it yesterday. Like, is that fresh for you?
Well, I didn't think it was, but when I started writing, I discovered that these stories just flowed out of me. Like I thought I didn't remember anything. And then everything just started pouring out. And if I did my math right, I mean, it's 2006 to now, I think that's about 15 years.
I mean, yeah, hey, anywhere over 10 years is incredible. Wow.
Yeah, so it just started pouring out. No, never. It never occurred to me. It was never in my bucket list. My dad is the one who really inspired me and encouraged me to write a book. He kept telling me, he told me like probably 8 years ago, he was like, you have a really diverse resume. He's like, you need to write a book. He goes, you have so many stories, such a cool experience. You're not a typical Secret Service officer. He's like, you need to write a book. I was like, yeah, Dad, that's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. I can't write. I'm not going to be a writer.
Did you get help, or did you just sit one day with your computer and your notebook? How long did it take to get it done?
So it took over a year. I was down in Florida, in Naples, Florida, with my family. My parents had a condo at the time down there, and I just was like, I'm going to write a book. And I started writing, and I didn't stop. So I mean, I'm talking just paragraphs. Like it was not in a book.
So like how like you got it done in like a week? Like it just came out of you? Like how?
No.
Okay.
No. It took over a year. So I wrote, and then I took it apart and I put it into chapters and I formatted it and I rewrote and re-edited. I worked with my sister. She helped me with it because she was in the news. So she was very good at writing. She knew like short, concise sentences. And I'm a talker. So I just like, my sentences were like run-on sentences. Okay. And I'm just trying to put all this together. So my family edited it for me. And then I knew it needed more. So I hired a professional editor and he came in and he edited. And then I got his edits back and I was like, yeah, that just doesn't sound like me. And I re-edited his edits because it wasn't good enough for me.
And
I was
so
like, no,
I
have to make this sound like me.
Self-publish this one?
So I self-published. I would love to go through a publisher, but I have talked to so many people who have published multiple books, people who have published just one book, people who have done the Amazon KDP program. I've talked to everybody. I would love to get picked up by a publisher, and I've talked to agents and stuff like that. But it seems like, there's so much, they get so much of the, I lose the rights to my book. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know if that's the right path for me.
But do you see yourself writing more books then?
I was one and done, but now after all the podcasts that I've done and all the reviews I've gotten.
Another book?
I'm not going to have any more kids, but another book is definitely in my foreseeable future. There's no doubt, because after all the stuff, I've just done so many radio shows and podcasts lately, and that's what everyone's asking, especially people who've read the book. They're like, when it ends, they're like, I need more. And I was like,
it sounds so good. Okay,
I don't know.
what have you do? I don't know if you talked about some, but what have you been doing? What did you do from like leaving the Secret Service all the way till 15 years later writing the book? Like, what did you do in that 10 years?
Oh, so that's, again, diverse resume. So what's great about the book is it actually has exactly what I did right after the Secret Service. So I worked for a law firm for a very short period of time. And then I went and used my security clearance. So I had a top secret SCI polygraph clearance. And so I went and worked for a government consulting firm. And the stories about those companies are in the book as well, because again, my mouth got me in trouble while I was working for these companies. And I actually got the discrimination on a completely opposite side. The women discriminated against me at the law firm. And so when I was working there, that's why I literally only worked there for a few months. And so that story is in the book as well, because I felt like it had so much impact on my life. And it showed that like discrimination is on both sides of the fence, but it's how you handle yourself and how you grow through that. And it's a learning process. For me, I never felt, I was obviously defeated at the time, but when I learned and I grew through it, it empowered me the older I got. So as much as it discourages you at the time, if you don't let it bring you down, it has so much beneficial impact on you actually.
Also, like you're talking about discrimination. And so is your point of view like it's a growth experience? I mean, don't people like sue for that kind of stuff? Like, isn't that the society we live in now? This like litigious, like.
Yes. And it is, and I'm not that type of person. I'm never going to be that type of person.
Okay, cool. Like, so there are still people that are like, no, that's not the way I would feel right. Like, it's not the right way to go.
Oh, I'm sure if I had gotten an attorney or something, I probably could have sued or found some type of discrimination lawsuit. I mean, it was discrimination, but again, like I told you earlier, the discrimination for me doesn't affect me. I'm going to be like, I'm going to go sue this company. Me, I'm going to fight and I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm going to prove that I'm strong and that I can keep moving on and I can keep getting jobs and I can keep being the person that I am. It makes me stronger instead of bringing me to a level where I just want to like throw it in their face or I just want to like, bring down the company or something.
Should be held accountable for discrimination.
I felt like it was on a light level in the sense of, I think it was a personal discrimination more than anything. I was very young. I think when I was in the Secret Service, I was 23.
Yeah.
At the law firm, I think I was about 24.
Yeah.
I was very young, very inexperienced. So I didn't know how to handle that at the time either. But if I'm older, I feel like you probably know how to handle yourself a little better. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to handle that. But it did form me into me today, which I am extremely beneficial for what I went through, which is crazy to say that.
No, I get it.
It actually totally made me.
They say like your pain, like
better.
It builds your journey or something like. So
no, that's exactly right.
These stories you talk about, I assume like you don't have to sign like an NDA when you work for these like government organizations. Like.
So I have not, and that actually is a great question because I've been asked that multiple times. So the secret to me writing this book, because a lot of people when they leave the Secret Service, they try to write books. And they try to write books because, they have all these cool stories. They've been next to the president of the United States. They maybe got to shoot somebody. Who knows what it is? But it's these crazy stories and it's fun. So for me, my book is a nonfiction humor book. It is based on a true story, but I've added fictional information into the book so for your enjoyment, for the reader's enjoyment. So it is based on my life and it is based on my experiences, and it is real, but it is definitely edited a little bit for the reader's enjoyment. Now, me saying that, when you're reading it, you're not going to know it's true and you're not going to know it's false and fake. So I love that aspect because when I went to a book club read my book, and then they had me be the author to talk, and they asked me a bunch of questions about the book. And those are some of the best questions that the book clubs are asking. They're like, so I have a question. Did this really happen? Is this true? So they're asking me the true faults. And, of course, I'll tell them, and we talk about that in the book club setting. So that's kind of my NDA cover, my legalese, I guess you say, for the book, is that it is based on a true story, so you don't know what's true and false. So there, and I made sure that everything that I Googled was on the internet, so that
so are you
public
are you
knowledge
allowed
already.
To, like when you leave these federal programs, like are you allowed to talk about your experience? Like it's not against the law, right?
No. Yeah, you totally can. Like I can say I worked for the CIA.
Yeah.
Now, as far as what you do after that, I can't talk about a case or any type of cable that I worked on that had confidential, secret, top secret information on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like I can talk about
you can talk about the public.
Yeah, I worked at the CIA headquarters. So correct. So I'm talking in a very broad spectrum when I speak in the book. Yeah.
So, okay. So when was the last time you had like a quote unquote, like real job? Like, I mean, now you're an author, like now you're like an author. So you don't have another job, do you?
So I do. I work part-time. Okay. I work part-time for a company called JRL Coal, and it's an energy company. And it actually is a family-owned company. So my dad, my uncle, and some other investors own this company. I just am an executive assistant. So I do that part-time so that I can be a mom to my son as well. And I take care of animals in my spare time. I love to dog sit. I have three dogs and a cat of my own. So I dog sit. So actually, when I left, before we moved back down to Georgia, when I left the consulting world, I actually was a dog walker, and I took care of dogs in my condo until I moved down here to Georgia, and then got this part-time job with JRL Coal, the energy company that I work for.
That's so funny.
So I'm always working. Yeah, I'm always networking. I'm always working. I feel like I always have a job, no matter what.
Do you miss anything about consulting?
So consulting, the money, yeah, I miss the money. The money was amazing in consulting.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, that was great. But like my book says, the money was holding me there. It was not a good fit for me either. It was.
I get it.
I am a very, if you can't tell, I'm a very social person. Yeah. I am a bubbly personality type of person. I need to be around people all the time. Yeah. And consulting was behind a computer all the time. And I kept telling I kept telling them, I was like, listen, the next project, can I please work with people? Can I please work with people?
That's like a different type of consulting than I'm used to. A lot of my consulting work was definitely people oriented.
So it was government consulting. So, and because of my top secret clearance, it dealt with a lot of computer work, with a lot of cables, cables are like, they're top secret documents that are, they can be secret, they can be unclassified, but they're documents coming from all different types of federal organizations, FBI, CIA, Department of State. They're cables that are coming in, and we have to like go through them and decipher them and work them out and all this stuff. So
just like in the movie.
Yes,
I can picture it. Okay.
Yes. So you're sitting behind a computer, and it was just I would do my work, and then I'd be like, I gotta be around people. So again, I don't miss it because I feel like what I'm doing now with my book is something that I never wanted to do. It was never a dream of mine, but it's like, it's fulfilling all the stuff I wanted to ever do. People, I'm talking to people, I'm networking all the time.
It totally
I'm going to
makes
book
sense.
signings.
No,
I
just kind of got the chills. Like that makes total sense. Like it's like you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards, and you had to do all that to get to this level of it's amazing. Cool.
No, okay. That's exactly. So I feel like the book has brought me to a great place in my life.
Yeah. Talk Back Barbie, the Secret Service Edition. Buy it on Amazon.
So you can buy it on Amazon. So right now the Kindle is available on Amazon. The paperback is available on my website. Okay. So it's talkbackbarbie.com is the website. And I'm hoping to get the paperback on Amazon as well. I just have to figure out how to edit the cover correctly to get them to approve it. So there's all these, they keep rejecting it because they're like, it doesn't fit into my standards.
Wait, when did it become available? When did it officially become available on Kindle?
End of January. So about probably February 1st into January was when I self-published the book. And right now, I'm pretty much mailing out the paperbacks right now from my house.
Congratulations!
And I'm just marketing it and doing everything.
Yeah, amazing.
Thank you so much. It's been a long road, a stressful road, but a learning road. I mean, it is a learning curve every turn I take. I mean, I'm learning something different.
What's your final three? I mean, what are your final three pieces of advice for anyone who has a story they might want to tell, and also just kind of being a mom, with energy and ambition?
You know what? I say, what I tell everybody, go for your dreams, okay? And my dream was to be an FBI agent. My dream changed, and that's okay. Like, go with the flow and go with what's fitting in your life at the time. I wanted to be an FBI agent, but I also knew I always wanted to be a mom and a mother. But once you are a mother, you realize your priority was my child. And I knew that a career was never going to take precedence over me being a mom to my child. But I still do have that passion of discovering and learning and constantly fighting for what I want. But I discovered that by being an author. I discovered that I am fighting for what I want. I'm promoting it constantly. I'm advertising it. I'm doing all this stuff. But so my dream changed, but that doesn't mean my dreams failed. It just means they took a different path. And that's what I tell people. Go for your dreams. They might change, but you can still achieve your dream in the end.
I love it. Well, Lauren, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And whenever you finish your second book, I want to do this again because it's so cool. I'm gonna order a copy. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye.
For more, please visit www.momsofmaternity.com.